Hello everybody and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Podcast. Hello a croeso I podcast rhif chwech de chwech to podcast number 66. I didn't say that in English, so I'll say it in English too. My name is Gareth Evans. I'm joined today by Mr. Henry. I'm just about surviving this apocalypse nonsense, being at home all day, every day, and it's so tiring. I'm so upset now. Cooper, how are you doing, sir?
That's probably the most accurate middle name you've come up with me so far. I'm
on the balls today.
My hair's one thing in particular that's really suffering, and the thing is, I have got like my own clippers I use for like my beard or whatever, and they keep looking more and more appealing. Just lose it all, just go complete.
Do it all.
Just lose everything.
Is that the only option? Is there no option to just kind of get the missus to just trim the back or something? There's no thought of that.
I don't trust her that much.
No. Well, you can give it a chance, right? And if all fails, then you just shave. You've got the fallback plan, right?
I mean, that's something, but I'm not willing. I'm not committed yet. I might get there in a few weeks. I have also had the idea that it would be funny if for every podcast I had different levels of shavedness. So if I start like at the back and the bottom around my ears and just go up and up and up and slowly form like a mohawk over a few weeks,
wow.
Then by the end go complete.
Although
if I take long enough, it'll start growing out here as this a bit disappears. So I'll have like a reverse mohawk. That could be fun.
I'm totally down for that, dude. I think you should definitely do that. That would be puzzling for the people who don't realise that the daily shows are pre-recorded, and they'll be like what's happened to your hair? Like, yesterday you had decent hair.
Yeah. Well, let's say if we get, I don't know, some outrageous number of patrons and subscribers and whatnot, I'll do it. If we get 1,000 patrons, new patrons as of this episode, I'll shave all my hair off.
If that isn't worth subscribing on Patreon for, I don't know what is, people. Patreon.com/Pretty Good Gaming. Go there now. We want to see Henry's bald.
Pretty good shaving.
Yeah. Mohawk. I want to see the mohawk. That would be awesome. So before we jump in today, we've got a running order of a few things to discuss. We've got No Man's Sky, Broken Lines, game I've been playing, and it's been a Nintendo hack. Other games that we've been playing, we're going to be discussing too. We're going to take some Discord questions from the Patreon community. Then we're going to go into the Triggered Fanboy comment of the week, and then the Bad Dad joke of the week. But firstly, I want to talk about TV shows or stuff you've been watching, Henry, because I'm pretty sure that we both watch a lot of TV shows, and recently I've just come to the end of my binging, I guess, of The Last Kingdom, which I found really, really cool. Watched 4 seasons of it, and I was like, I'm in this point now where it's like you're having this hangover of where you've just watched such a good show, you're looking for something to fill that void. I had it with Mad Men recently, and now I'm just in this void, and I need some recommendations from you guys. Really, I started with Snowpiercer, because it was recommended to me on Netflix, and oh my god, is that dull. I survived 2 episodes, and only just about, like halfway through the second episode, I was like, this is it. And the missus was like, let's watch the second. We always do 2 episodes. Let's just watch the second one, see if it's. And it was crap. So I've got that void in my life now. So I do need recommendations. Snowpiercer isn't it for me. It might be for other people. I've been watching Better Call Saul as well. Oh my god, how have I slept on that for so long? Better Call Saul. That is amazing. I'm like a season and 2 episodes into that, but I'm watching it on my own because my missus don't watch that. And oh my god, that's awesome. How about you?
I'm useless at watching TV shows because I'll binge loads of them all at once and then like end up forgetting about it or moving on to something else. And like I started The Last Kingdom ages ago. I think late last year. I was really enjoying that. I think I got maybe 3 or 4 or 5 episodes in and then just stopped. No reason, nothing came out. I just didn't carry on watching it. Same happened with Vikings. I think I cleared the first season of that, watched 2 episodes of the second season, then just forgot to go back. It's happened again with Peaky Blinders. We're like halfway through series 2, and I'm like, I like these shows. I just can't end up finishing them. But I've been reading the Walking Dead comic books for the past few weeks, and I've been smashing through those. So I've started to rewatch the TV show again, because at the beginning it's good, and then it goes really, really, really boring, and they put the walking in Walking Dead because that's all they fucking do. And I've been really annoying my girlfriend, being like, "Oh, this is different, this is different, this is different," because anytime we watch, because she's a huge like Harry Potter fan, so anytime we're watching that, I'm always pestering her like, "Oh, like, what's this in the book?" or like this, and this, because I can't read. I need the pictures. I need the picture books to be able to get through it. But I don't think I've really been watching anything new, to be honest.
No. Well, talking of what do you call them? Talking of those comic book things that some people like, and I'm not really that familiar. The Beano and the Dandy was my comic book.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, growing up, I used to love the Beano,
Dennis
especially Billy the Wiz. Billy the Wiz, is it Billy Wiz? Billy Wiz, whatever. Anyway, I watched first half of Into the Spider-Verse on the weekend with the kids, and oh my god, that's pretty damn decent.
That's excellent.
Yeah, when it comes, we finished off all the back catalogue of all the awesome movies. And by the way, Bill and Ted 3, did you see that trailer? Oh my god, I watched it with the kids, right? I rewatched the first two movies with the kids recently, because we're going over all the awesome 80s, 90s movies that they need to be exposed to in order for them to be any decent human beings when they grow into adulthood. So they have to watch all the classics. So Bill and Ted, they watched the first and the second one, and then the trailer dropped this week, and I showed it to them, and my youngest daughter, like 9 years old, her chin was on the floor the whole time, and she was like, they're old. They're old. I was like, yeah, it's 25 years ago. Like, that's how old this movie is. But I'm totally down for the third one. Bill and Ted Face the Music. Oh, wow. I'm taking my whole family to the cinema to watch that one. That's going to be awesome. Are you interested in that at all?
I'm gonna upset you a little bit here, because I've never seen Bill and Ted.
Well, you should. I think you should.
I won't say I don't like it, except I haven't seen it. I think it was at the time I watched Wayne's World, and then I saw that there was this thing called Bill and Ted, and I was like, well, that's just Wayne's World, and didn't watch it. So I really like Wayne's World, but
Bill and Ted,
maybe I'm wrong.
It's Keanu in his prime, right? Keanu's prime, and it's one of those.
Keanu is excellent.
Thinking about all the films that I've rewatched recently, there's very few movies from that period, like late 80s, early 90s, that the sequel is actually better than the original. There's so few movies, and Bill and Ted is one of those movies where the sequel is better than the original. A lot of you would probably say, well, that's not hard because the original sucks. But, you know, you just got to believe, don't you? God gave rock and roll to you, didn't they? And and with that, I think the only other one I can think of is like Terminator. Terminator 2 is better than the original. But then again, I can't watch
Terminator,
them with the kids.
Aliens is another one.
Yeah, again, there's
a few out there.
Those ones I can't watch with my kids, so I haven't really been watched. Everything else is crap, like Ghostbusters. We watched Karate Kid. We watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which all of those have sequels which are below par in my eyes. So it's like, you know, what can you do? Anyway, this is not a movie and TV show podcast. This is a gaming podcast, and we've waffled long enough. So let's move on to our first topic of discussion today, which is No Man's Sky. And why are we talking about No Man's Sky again? Well, it's been out for 4 years now, and we had a troubled launch, but it's been redeeming itself almost every year since. Every 3-4 months, every 6 months, every update, it's redeemed itself. And this time they're adding cross-play support for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Steam, GOG, Windows 10, and VR. And that happens today as of time of recording. That's Thursday, the 11th of June. It's also coming to the Xbox Game Pass for consoles and PC. So if you have Game Pass for the PC or consoles, you can play No Man's Sky for free as part of that subscription. Cross-play with any of your friends who have it on any other platform, which is amazing. Apparently, they've moved to an entirely new networking architecture to allow this to happen. The amount of hours they put into this game. And my first point of conversation is crossplay is happening all the time now. Like it seems like with these multiplayer games, if you haven't got crossplay across all of the systems, then you're missing out, because everyone's doing it, and I think it's a great precedent to set, right? All games should be doing this.
Yeah, I mean, it was the conversation I always used to have with like parents and stuff when you're buying whatever console when I was a kid, and they're like, oh, why do you want this one? Oh, it's because my friends have that one and we can all play together online and stuff. So, but why can't you play on that one? And I don't know, Mum. They just don't allow it. It's stupid. Why can't we all just play together and be a hippy-dippy commune of everyone playing together in peace and shouting obscenities about each other over live chat? I don't know, but they're not allowing it. But now we're getting to the point where these game companies are figuring out we can make more money if we just work together. We can all share in this pie, but it's a bigger pie, so we get more out of it collectively. It's just the best way. The only real reservation of it is anyone playing on console, which then has crossplay to PC in something like a shooter, just quit while you can, because you're just gonna get annihilated by some sweaty mouse and keyboard guy.
I wouldn't say that. Judging on my experience with Fortnite recently on the crossplay thing, they've got aim assist, so they're basically cheating. So console players have to cheat in order to keep up with mouse and keyboard. In the conversation, what is a better controller? Control input method. Is it a controller? Is it mouse and keyboard? Well, if you have to cheat with one in order to keep up with the other, I think that answers itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. But then, like, why would you want to play with these cheaters? You want to just play with the best if you want to be legitimately competitive. But then again, people
don't do that when I play
online
against
video games all the time anyway.
I'd rather play against 9-year-old girls and just shoot them. Cheating or not, I'm still going to take them down.
Still going to take down those 9-year-olds. Well, that's the soundbite for the FBI
still going to take them down.
Dig into.
Yeah. So back to No Man's Sky. I think crossplay is amazing. The fact that they're bringing this in. The fact that it's changed so much since launch. I think it's 2016 it launched now, and the arc of this game. It launched in such a horrible state and situation where they overpromised and that, and Hello Games Sean Murray went into hiding. He didn't show his face for months and months, years before he did another interview because of the backlash online. And now he's completely changed it around. And the fact that this game is hailed as one of the best
redemption stories.
Yeah, one of the best ways you can do online games these days, games as a service. Like, you can play this game single player, offline if you want. You can play it online with all your friends. There's no microtransactions in the game, no additional monetization, no expansions, no nothing. All the expansions are free. They're not asking for a single penny outside of the cost of purchase. You can now get it for free if you've got a Game Pass, which is like $1 a month as a trial if you want to do that. Oh my God, I don't know many of the games as a service type games which do it better than this. It's a shining example of how you can do it. You talk of Destiny, the worst ones like Anthem and Fallout 76 recently, right? Those are the games as a service games which got it bad at launch and haven't even redeemed themselves and are still charging microtransactions, and there's still a load of bullshit. And we're years later now, or a year later, and they're still in horrible states. It's like AAA versus what Hello Games are, and Hello Games are knocking out the park.
I think it's because he did the right thing. It looked like he ran. Sean Murray, this is. It looked like he ran away and hid in a little cave, hiding from all the abuse he was getting online. But he sat down with his team and just grafted. They found out what they needed to fix, what they needed to add, and they just did it. They didn't. Like, BioWare's messaging with the Anthem has been so terrible because they've come out and said, we're doing something. Don't tell us what it is. A few months later, we're still working. We're working hard. Mm-hmm. Trust us. Okay, what are you going to do? No word of that. No idea.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps coming, and they're saying nothing. And it's just reminding us. It reminds us that game exists, but it currently exists in a piss poor state. So you don't want to. Why would you want to remind people of that? And then there's Fallout 76, which seems to be. They've got some geniuses over there for thinking up new ways to piss people off. Like, that game has had one of the worst launches in recent memory, and I don't think many people would dispute that. But they just keep making it worse. Like every time they do anything, they get backlash, and maybe that's just because of, they set the bar, they set the precedent with launching in such a shitty state. But just what can you not just learn and be better? You're being trash, and you know it, and you're fleecing people. And other games like No Man's Sky and what's the other one? Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's done a really good job of reinventing itself and adding loads of free content. There's still a bunch of microtransactions crap in it, but it's all cosmetic and skins, and you can earn that currency by playing anyway. So it can be done. These companies are just choosing not to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, absolutely. It can be done in a good way, where you're treating your consumers with respect, and you don't try and fleece them and pull the wool over their eyes. But very few companies these days do it, which is why, for all its faults at launch, I think I love a good redemption story. You know me, Groundhog Day being my favourite movie of all time. I think that No Man's Sky and Hello Games deserve a lot of credit for what they've done, and how they're basically putting to shame all the other companies in the industry who just aren't doing it. And like some people try and justify and protect these companies and defend them by saying, they need to make money in order to, need to charge microtransactions, otherwise there's no additional content. That's bullshit. And Hello Games have absolutely proven that they've not charged a single penny outside of the original purchase of the game, and they keep adding so many improvements time and time again. And the way they make money, people buy the game because it's so good. That's it. Bottom line, people buy the game on all the platforms and keep buying the game because of word of mouth, because of the improvements they make. They don't need to nickel and dime and fleece their players. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
It should be obvious, but make a good game and people will buy it.
People will come. Build it and they will come.
And they will come.
Okay, moving on to the next segment. I want to talk a little bit about Broken Lines, which is a game that was released in February this year, I believe. It's on the Switch now, which I have been playing, and the code has been provided by the publisher Super.com, so I'd like to say thank you to them. The game is developed by Porterplay. Not heard of them before. They've not done very many big games. People ask, what was the comment last week? You guys only ever talk about the most, the AAA games and all the best indie games. This is like a prime example of how wrong that person was, because this isn't either of those. This is one of those under the radar for a lot of people type of games, indie game like that. So what is this game? It's set in an alternate history version of World War II, and you control a squad of 8 soldiers whose plane was shot down behind enemy lines, and the story sees you trying to make it back to friendly territory. Now, the game describes itself as a tactical RPG with story-driven gameplay, so that puts it in the same category as the likes of XCOM, Wasteland 2, Mutant Year Zero, if you're familiar with that, or the recent Gears Tactics. Although it's tagged as turn-based on Steam, that's a very loose descriptor if you ask me. It's more like a pause and play game for those who are familiar with that type of game. So how is it different? Well, the combat is head and shoulders the best element of this game. So your actions are carried out completely differently to your usual turn-based games, of which I've just mentioned. You don't move your characters independently. There's not like a one turn where you select what you do with the characters. Your characters will move, and then the enemy takes a turn. That doesn't happen. What you do in Broken Lines is you plan your moves for your characters, and then you press end turn, or the play button, which forwards time for 8 seconds. So time is a factor, and during that 8 seconds, your enemies move at the same time. So it's like you plan and then pause and play, essentially. So that's how the action works in this, and that's fundamentally different because there's time in this game. There's no time concept in those turn-based games. So that's what makes it interesting. Right? You've got a squad of 4, maybe 5 characters in any one mission with varying different weapons. So you've got long-range riflemen and you've got short-range shotgun people. You've also got mid-range suppression type, machine guns. And the way that you orchestrate the squad in order to take out an enemy position is the beauty and the attraction of the gameplay for me in this game. because each action takes up a certain amount of seconds. You can plan out, like, so this guy for 2 seconds is going to run to that bush, and the next 2 seconds he's going to throw a grenade into that area, and then he's going to, get into the building and then take out as many. And then you plan that all out for all your characters, as long as they're within 8 seconds of, they each have 8 seconds worth of commands. You press play and you just watch it all play out, and that's quite rewarding in this gameplay. So as well as the health bar, your characters have a suppression meter. So one of the actions on some of your characters is to suppress the enemy. So if you use the suppress thing, they'll just keep shooting randomly, and the enemy will be suppressed and they won't fire back. So that's a tactical option available to you there, which I really like. Are using smoke and grenades and things like that in order to obscure the vision of the enemy and then move forward and get into better positions. And it's a cover-based thing too, so you can put your your friendlies in cover, and it shows you on the screen what your percentage chance of hitting the enemy and what their percentage chance of hitting you are whenever you highlight where you want to move them. So it gives you that extra bit of information as to where the best spots are to put your characters, which is really, really good. And that, like I said, the combat is by far and away the best part of this game. And if that interests you, then you should take a look at it. What aren't so good about this game? The story, it's a quite lackluster story. Yes, it's this fictional World War II. It's mysterious faceless Nazis, which is a bit of a mystery. You got why are these Nazis kind of weird? Not that interesting, let's be honest. It doesn't really pull me through. You control 8 characters. They've all got a backstory and they've all got a relationship with each other. So sometimes during camp, at the end of each mission, you have a night and you camp, and they can have conversations with each other, and you've got like a choice sometimes how they interact with each other, and then their relationships can change depending on your choices. That's kind of interesting. But outside of that, it's not that interesting. There are some like survival elements in the game. So each soldier uses one supply crate per day, and you gain supplies after you complete each mission, depending on your mission score, and you get a higher score depending on if you complete the mission within a set time, how many enemies you kill, and you also get extra score for not getting your soldiers downed. And there is perma-death in this game too. If you get them downed, you can resuscitate them, but if they get downed again or something, they're dead and they're out of the thing. So that's a nice little touch there. I do like a little perma-death. So with these supplies that you gather, you buy new weapons, provisions such as grenades and healing items, etc., which you use up and you have to replenish. And each of your characters has traits and abilities. The traits get given to you seemingly at random, sometimes depending on what character interaction choice that you make. You might get a new trait, but the abilities are gained as like a level up, and you can choose which player to attribute it to. So, for example, one of my characters has a blood rage trait, which gives them increased firing and reload speed when he's injured. And so these kind of upgrades paired with the weapon loadout and all the utility items that you can equip your people with, like grenades and health items and stuff like that. That's how you customize your squad in order to suit your play style. And that's where the RPG elements comes in. So a tactical RPG. It's not a role-playing game. Not by it's RPG elements is what people use these days. But it's not a role-playing game by any means. But not by my definition, that's for sure. But there is a little bit of depth to it there. It's not very deep. There's not very many options so far as weapons to upgrade and utility items to use. But, it's there. It's paid lip service, let's put it like that. Music, I wouldn't say trash. It's underwhelming. It's so bad. There's just nothing to it. There's nothing to the music. Don't play this if you like music and games and it affects the way that you play. Just put your own playlist on and turn the music off on the game. It's nothing. So that was my quick rundown of this game. And just before I finish, I just want to mention like who who would like this type of game, and who should play it, who should take a look at it, because obviously each game isn't meant for everybody, and I can't say this game is awesome, buy it, or this game is trash, don't buy it. I always try to think of who's going to like this game, who's going to appeal to specifically. So I would say definitely take a look at this game for this tactical / strategy elements that I've described there. If you're interested in any of those things, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the combat gameplay, which keeps me coming back. Don't play this game for the story or the progression or the characters or the depth of gameplay. It's not really there. But the tactical, I'm playing on my Switch when I'm relaxing on the evening for maybe an hour each night. I'm just sitting there on my bed, chilling out, playing this game. It's quite relaxing, and it's really rewarding when you set out your characters to move and orchestrate them in a like a combat scenario. And I think it's quite rewarding personally. And bear in mind that it's priced around £16 on Steam right now. It's 20% off, so it's usually priced at 20 quid. And on the Switch, it's £18 right now, which is 20% off again. That's £22.50. So it's priced, I don't know, about right now. It's a good time to buy it new because it's on sale. But I haven't completed it yet. I'm like halfway through maybe. But I'm having a good time. And, and if it appeals to you, definitely take a look. That is a Broken Lines by Porter Play. And those are my thoughts. Good?
Groovy.
Happy?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a cool game.
It's decent. It's decent. I mean, there are issues with the Switch controls because it's a tactical game where you.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. And the graphics aren't great.
I'd love an XCOM like game on the Switch. In principle, being able to play that on the sofa and in handheld mode, but I just hate the Switch Joy-Cons so much.
They're so bad.
I mean, you can you can play it without them with a what they call it, the Pro controller, but you then have to sit it in front of you, and in that case you might as well just have it docked.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
So.
I mean, control issues aside, you can get around. You can, if you've got patience, and it won't bother you so much. If you haven't got patience, maybe give this one a miss. Anyway, talking of Nintendo and the Switch, there's been a Nintendo news story this week, right?
Yeah, and when we were looking for news stories to look into for this podcast, which were very few and far between, this Nintendo hack one sounded interesting, but there's not much else to it other than the fact it's happened. So apparently, according to Business Insider, 300,000 Nintendo Switch accounts have been hacked. So that's quite a lot, and it could be you. But apparently the breach was first publicized back in April, and it's back in headlines now because the amount of hacks that have been made, the amount of accounts that have been the victim of it, has increased.
Yeah,
and this supposedly applies to anyone who connected their 3DS or Wii U network ID, which is called their NNID. Anyone who connected those to their Nintendo Switch, so you could get the shared account thing. And supposedly all Nintendo's really done about it so far is email everyone they think is affected, and that's, I mean, I always feel like whenever these hacking things come out, they have no idea how many people are affected. I can't speak today. Maybe I'm affected by a hack.
Yeah.
They have no idea how many people are actually affected. So how can they just send an email to everyone and just telling people, "Oh, reset your password and it'll be fine"? Yeah. It doesn't seem like they're really doing much about it. But maybe they're doing it behind closed doors. I can't be certain of that. But.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you'd expect them to be a bit more outgoing with it and say, listen, everybody should change their passwords because it could be you, we don't know. The fact that this isn't very well publicized seems to imply that they're trying to keep it on the hush-hush. The fact that it's only players who have connected their 3DS or Wii U network ID, so it's only those players who possibly have had their accounts hacked, is a bit of a consolation. Supposedly. That's what they say. Can you always trust them though? I mean, you should always check. What they're saying is if you're getting an email to ask you to reset your password, or there's been a reset password request email been sent to you, then definitely change your email, because that's them. Definitely change your password, because that's the hackers trying to reset your password. Also, two-factor authentication is king these days, and if you don't have 2FA, then you definitely should on most of, if not all of your accounts that you can have them on, because that's the easiest way to secure your things, that's for sure. I saw one comment on Reddit that said that he had his account hacked, and it was like $600. They bought $600 worth of Fortnite microtransactions on his account. I shouldn't be laughing. Fortnite. Shouldn't be laughing.
Fortnite is the new way to launder money.
Yeah, absolutely. But is it his fault for playing Fortnite on a Switch? That's the question I ask. It's his own fault. I'm joking. That was obviously a joke.
It is a good idea to regularly change your passwords. I mean, I never do it, but you should, and it's just safer that way. And a lot of games now, if you've got like what was it, like Rockstar, when you've got to sign up to, what do they call it, the Rockstar Social Club for Red Dead Online or something, they now, which is a huge annoyance that you got to go through, and it's like, oh, this is a pain in the ass. But they reward you for adding two-factor authentication, so that it like incentivizes you. I'm pretty sure they did, and a few others have done similar sort of things. Like, right, it's in your best interest to do it. It protects you, and here's an extra cosmetic or currency or whatever.
I mean, you could look at that as a good thing, right? You could think, oh, aren't they being good and rewarding you? But if they didn't ask for your email address in the first place, it couldn't be fucking hacked. And that's the problem.
Yeah,
that's one thing.
It's a bribe, really.
It is, yeah, it is. But like, whenever I play a Microsoft, what was it, Gears Tactics recently, I fired it up and I was like, right, I want to play the game. And the first screen that it showed me was, right, let's get you signed in. I'm like, I don't want to sign in.
Why?
I don't want to give, like, sign in with your Microsoft account. Fucking hell, come on. It's like all this unnecessary information that I'm giving you in order to play this game, which I've legitimately purchased or I've got the rights to play now, but you need my email address and I can't play without it. Fuck that. I hate that. But anyway.
It's just a pain in the arse, and they've got all your info, and then they spam you with emails about like promotions and shit. I'm like, no one cares about whether you can get like 10 pence off something that you're not even going to buy. So
it's annoying. That turned into a bit of a rant about personal information on the internet.
I don't even have the energy for a full rant.
Okay, let's move on to what we've also played. I've been busy this week. I bought the Outer Worlds on my Switch, and I played a little bit of that before Broken Lines came along, and I decided to play Broken Lines because that was one of the newer games. I thought if I review that on the podcast, that'll be a better thing because we've talked about Outer Worlds in the past. But there's a lot of questions over the performance on the Outer Worlds on Switch, and I don't know if you've seen the IGN comparison, which everyone's like, well, looks like a potato. Why would you buy it on the Switch? It's like people just missing the point completely. It's not about the graphics when you play it on the Switch. It's about the convenience.
Yeah.
It's about pressing the button on the top, setting it down for half an hour, picking it up again, pressing the button on the top, and picking up where you left off. Even if you're on the shitter, even if you're taking a train journey somewhere. Not that we're doing that at the moment, but that still applies, right? It's the convenience of having the Switch.
The future with the Switch for games like that, and it's what they kind of want to happen with game streaming, but none of the infrastructure or anything is there yet. Hopefully we'll get there. But the best thing in theory about the Switch would be that you can have your account on, and this is actually a good reason to sign into accounts and stuff for a game. You could have an account on your proper PC or your proper console playthrough of the Outer Worlds, upload it to the cloud or whatever, and then download it onto your Switch so you can carry on that same save file, in significantly reduced quality, but then you can do it on the go. Then when you get home, upload it again, and then jump back onto your proper system. That's the way it would work best in my mind.
Oh yeah, it works like that on The Witcher.
You would have to buy 2 versions of it, but it's incredible. Yeah, The Witcher did it. But it would be incredibly convenient.
Absolutely.
you can never stop playing.
Absolutely. And
the game never ends.
I think it's only the people who don't own a Switch and don't see the benefits of owning a Switch that complain about the graphics on the Switch. Because it's not about that. It really isn't. And yes, the comparisons that AJ put together do show a considerable difference. And the textures on the rocks and the vegetation and stuff, they're just not there on the Switch. I'm not playing my game to appreciate vegetation. I'm sorry. That is not why I play games. I'm playing the Outer Worlds so I can experience the Outer World, the world itself, the characters, the interactions, the choices that I make, and the gameplay to a certain extent. It's really, you're missing the point if you're criticizing the graphics on the Switch. If it's a priority for you, by all means, don't play it on the Switch.
Yeah.
But you're completely, you're missing the reason why a lot of people want games like this on the Switch, me included, because I think RPGs, there should be more RPGs played on or brought to the Switch. That's for sure.
I think an interesting sort of kind of hippy dippy flower child interpretation of that is it does kind of highlight how gamers as a community are just so different across the board and so diverse in their opinions and outlooks and stuff, because the amount of people you get for a Call of Duty or a Battlefield or any of those like AAA big budget games that are really, really pretty, but the gameplay is just kind of like whatever, or even like a Death Stranding or pretty much any of the PlayStation first party exclusives. All of them look really pretty, but then you can make comments about the gameplay like, oh, The Last of Us, it looks good, but it's just a movie, and I don't really like that opinion, but a lot of people have it. But then you get people who say that sort of thing are like, oh, the graphics are shit, why does anyone care, it's all about the gameplay. And then on the flip side, when you come around to a game like The Outer Worlds, which does look objectively worse on the smaller platform of the Switch, and people are up in arms about it, they never shut up. It's like, oh, it looks like trash, which means this, and this. Granted, if you're talking about it playing trash because the frame rate's horrific, that's kind of different. Well, I just think it's so interesting to see how some people in the community are so devoted to bad-mouthing any game that doesn't look absolutely stunning and perfect at all times. But then you get people who criticize these games for just focusing on graphics and stuff.
That's true.
You just can't tar all gamers with the same brush about everything. It's like when people say everything from gamers are toxic to gamers are entitled and all that crap. It's like, yeah, but there's so many
such a generic
types of gamers. This is why. Yeah, it's why I don't really like to be like called, oh, you're a gamer, because it's like, well, that means so many different things.
Yeah.
You could be someone who I don't know, like there's as much diversity in gaming as there are in any artistic medium, but I think because gamers are more technology focused and more active on the internet generally, that's true. How you can see it. You can see it a lot more. So I just think it's an interesting state of the world, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. There's just a weird tangent.
Yeah, it is one of them where no matter what we say, no matter what side of the fence we fall on in any of our videos or content, we'll always get people agreeing and we'll always get people disagreeing. That's just the nature of it. And the beauty of it, or the objective is just to try not to get so upset with other people's opinions and thoughts that it turns you into an aggressive, rage-filled idiot on the internet, because that
happens on all sides of the argument.
Anyway, that was The Outer Worlds on Switch. I'm not going to talk about it much. I'm enjoying it. I'm playing through as a melee character this time, because you're talking about auto-aim. Yeah. There is auto-aim on this, but I didn't realise that when I created my character, so I was like, I'm just going to go melee, because I'm not going to be able to shoot with a Nintendo Joy-Con or whatever. So I'm actually built him like a tank, and I'm actually having fun. I hardly ever play as a melee focused character in these RPGs like this. I always like mouse and keyboard headshot type of person, but this time I'm doing all right, and I'm just killing everyone indiscriminate. Like I got to the first encampment, Rosewood.
Yeah, something like that.
And there's that guy his name starts with a T or something, and he's got that hat, and he says, "Oh, to get a generator, you've got to go in there." And I was like, "Nah, just killed him, just battered his mates." And I just did, I'm just playing as a kind of just a big brute type of character, and I'm just role playing it. I'm like, yeah, what would this big brute of a guy who doesn't take any shit from anyone just do? It just kills everyone. And that's fun. Hopefully get back into playing that after I've finished off Broken Lines. The next topic of conversation, the other game that I played recently, just before I picked up The Outer Worlds, was Thrones of Brittania. I mentioned it in the other podcast because we talked about Total War Troy coming, and it's been a 24 hours for free on Epic Store if you log in. That I was playing because of that news. I was like, well, I need to play Thrones of Brittania, not only for that and get myself ready for Total War Troy. I also want to play Thrones of Brittania because it's set in the same time period as The Last Kingdom, which was the show I was watching I've discussed earlier. So I played a campaign as Alfred the Great, a Wessex campaign, and maybe 15 hours in, completed it, did it. I did set the difficulty to normal on both of them, which made it really easy. The battles were way too easy for me. I'm usually like a very hard kind of guy, but in order to learn the mechanics of this game, because I only put like 2 or 3 hours into it beforehand, I wanted to make sure that I was enjoying it. And walking across your opposition and just beating everybody is one way to definitely enjoy it. So yeah, I'm definitely more familiar with what they try to achieve with Thrones of Brittania now, because beforehand I wasn't really a big fan because I hadn't played it enough, I guess. But I do really enjoy the game now, and I will definitely be playing it again in future. Maybe be the Welsh next time, and maybe take over Britain as the Welsh, because it didn't feel good.
Rewrite history.
Yeah, because it didn't feel good having to subjugate the Welsh in my playthrough, having to conquer them. It felt. Well,
it does
bad.
feel good being a winner.
Yeah, so at least I've got the skills and expertise now in order to take on that campaign, because it's a lot harder as a Welsh, because you start off with a really small kingdom compared to like Wessex, which is massive on the bottom of the map, and loads of vassals and whatever too. So I really enjoyed that, and that was another game that I thought I'd mention too. And I guess, what about you, dude? You played Mass Effect, right? Mass Effect 2, you still playing that?
So I finished Mass Effect 2 maybe late last week, and then I started replaying The Last of Us, because the new one comes out at the time next week, and you're hearing it, it's less than a week. So I thought I'd refresh myself on that, and I've put together a rambly, sort of waffly video that should be coming out today at the time of recording if everything goes well, but it's kind of long, so I don't know how I have no idea how it's going to turn out. It's kind of just a vanity project. But yes, Mass Effect 2 I was really enjoying. I'm looking forward to getting into 3, but I'm kind of putting that off until I can really give it its time, because if I start it and then I get The Last of Us and I've got to play that, I don't want to disjoint it.
Yeah.
But Mass Effect 2, I think, is excellent. It's not perfect. It's a much better to play than the first one, because I was quite critical of the first one, because it plays... It's really kind of janky, and the shooting feels horrible. None of the powers have any real oomph. And so I hated that you couldn't aim down the sights with all your guns. I thought that was really weird design choice. But then 2 basically fixes all of that. It streamlines a lot. You just don't get snipers if your class doesn't allow it, which is a little annoying, but I'd rather they weren't there than just filled up an inventory slot. Because in the first one, because you can't aim down sights unless you've got a class which leans towards sniper, I think it's called Infiltrator, you've just got it in your inventory, so you've got to blind fire with the sniper, so it's completely wasted. So then in 2, just got rid of that. I thought that was great. No more driving on the planet missions in the Mako, the truck tank thing. That sucked. Glad I don't have to do that again. Now you can just shoot probes from space. That was cool. Without trying to... without spoiling much of it, because the ending is very, very important. Fuck it, I'm just going to... Right, spoilers for the ending of Mass Effect 2. That's it.
Do it.
So you go on. They're talking about it throughout the game that this is a suicide mission. We're not all going to make it back. And thankfully, a couple of patrons said that you should make sure you do every mission you can before this one, because that's like the point of no return type thing. So I did that, did everyone's loyalty missions, and I only lost one party member, but I didn't like her anyway. It was Jack. She's the like prisoner who's got like crazy superpowers and stuff. But I didn't like her that much. I thought she was a bitch. I did her loyalty mission, and then once I finished that, I didn't have high enough Paragon, which is like your good guy points, or Renegade, which is your bad guy points, to get her back on side. So she was just mad, and she died. And I kind of wanted everyone to survive, because they all carry through to 3, and they've all got their own little bits and bobs that are happening there. But I want to play it like authentically. I don't want to cheat it and just Google how to save everyone. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do that. I might do that for a second playthrough, like a perfect run. That's not happening anytime soon. To be honest, the one person, if they died, I would have been most upset about was Garrus, because he's my bro. He's been there since the beginning. If he ever dies, that's it. I'm going to give in to the Reapers, and they can do what they want. Garrus is my man. Yeah. I was going to romance Miranda, because she's really fit.
Has to be Miranda.
But I don't really like her. I don't really like her as a person.
No.
So I wanted to get under the hood of Tali, because I wanted to see her face.
Tali's fine, yeah.
It was because I screwed who's the Asari? Liara.
Yeah.
I screwed Liara in the first one, so I'm playing Shepard to be I don't even know what you call it. Xenosexual. He just loves all the aliens. So I tried to bone Tali, and then she like pops off her mask thing. You don't even get to see her under the mask. I was really disappointed. That's all I was using her for, was to see her under the hood, but I didn't get to see it, unfortunately.
Annoying.
But I'm gonna go back to Liara for Mass Effect 3, because she's my one true love. Yeah. Tali, you're getting friend zoned.
Back to the OG misses. That's cool. I played 2 and 3. I can't really remember a lot of the characters in 3. I'm interested to see what you think of 3, because you kind of know about the ending, but I guess we'll discuss that once you play it. So thanks for that, Henners. Let's move on to the next section, which is the community section. And this is the community over on patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. They get to ask us questions every week, because they help us and they support us bringing this content on YouTube. If you want to do the same thing, get access to the Discord, or the patron-only section on the Discord, and get early access to the podcast every week and ask us questions on the podcast, head over to Patreon now and make a pledge. We really, really appreciate everyone who does, because it helps us, it enables us to keep plodding away on YouTube, without which we wouldn't be able to do. This week we've had one member increase their pledge. And also I'd like to make a shout out to Commander Red Bush, who's increased his pledge from $5 to $10. There's a salute for you, sir. Really appreciate it. And that was the only contribution this week. But every single dollar matters. So we really appreciate everybody. With that said, I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, the Discord, by the way, is open to the public now too. So there's a link to that in the description of this video. You can join in and chat with us and the community on the Discord. There are obviously private areas for the patrons, but you can come in and have a chat with us just on the public area as well if you want. Like I said, link in the description. Let's move on then to the first questions set to us by our community this week. The first one, should we do I want to do the Metal Shark quiz this week first, if you don't mind. I'm gonna bump that up, because I think this is one of the highlights of the week, and I'm gonna probably timestamp it and everything. So this is the Metal Shark quiz of the week, and it's for Henry this week. So every week for the last 6 weeks or something now, where there's been a quiz. And the last few weeks it's been riddles. So out of 10 questions, it's been more than 6 weeks, hasn't it? It must be 10 weeks at least. So a real stinker of a Ridley quiz this week for Henry, says Metal Shock. Good luck to you and those playing along. Time to guess the character. Buckle up. So these clues are a game character, and it's on Henry to answer them. You can play along at home as well. There's 10 questions, and let us know your scores in the comments. First up, I'm not very hyper, unlike others with the name. My incarnations look similar, but rarely the same. Many of my weapons make a comeback. I'll master the sword, then cook a quick snack.
Surely, I mean, the first half, no idea. Second half, I feel like that's got to be Link from Zelda. Man of many weapons, because he's got sword and shield, bow and arrow, hook shot, bombs, boomerang, all that good stuff. Master the sword, because his sword is the master sword. Then cook a quick snack, because cooking is it's an important mechanic in Breath of the Wild. So I'm going to go for Link from The Legend of Zelda.
Link from the Legend of Zelda series is correct. Hyperlinks share his name with his incarnations, sharing a similar design and yet looking different. Most titles involve him acquiring the Master Sword, with the boomerang also being a weapon that, quotes, comes back. And in Breath of the Wild, he cooks. So well done, Henry. 1 out of 1 so far. Next up.
Okay.
Many couldn't wait to unbox me. My organization's motto is, to let the world be. I've saved the nation from nuclear arms. It takes a strong woman for this John to be charmed.
I saved the nation from nuclear arms. It takes. I don't know. This has to be. My gut feeling is that this is Snake from Metal Gear, specifically probably Solid Snake, but I feel like any Snake counts. But
is that your final answer?
Well, if he's John, it's probably Big Boss, but I feel like any Snake from Metal Gear Snake counts, right? So I'm gonna go Snake.
All right, you did say it. Solid Snake from the Metal Gear series is correct. Often hiding in boxes, he formed the philanthropy organization in Metal Gear Solid 4, carrying the motto, to let the world be. His real name is David, and the games often involve stopping nuclear threats with, quotes, charmed, relating both to his love life and cheeky Snake reference. There you go. Congratulations, Henry. 2 out of 2. Next up, I practice yoga, stretching regularly, with the stripes on my head numbering 3. Wearing torn saffron shorts, conjuring an old flame. With Ganesha behind me, there's lentils in my name. This is a great one. I know this one. This is a great... maybe the best riddle he's put together so far.
They do yoga and they stretch, so they're flexible. They've got 3 stripes on their head. Okay. Torn saffron shorts. All right, so they wear sort of shorts. Conjuring an old flame. I mean, maybe that's a power to conjure a flame, or it means old flame as in like a love interest. Ganesha, isn't that a Hindu god? Isn't that the elephant one?
Yes.
Who's got a bunch of arms, I think. There's lentils in my... I have absolutely no idea.
Well, if you know it, you know it on this. And I got it from the very first or second line. So if you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. So I wouldn't sweat it.
I'll pass this one because I've got no clue.
This is Dalsim from Street Fighter 2 onwards. He's a stretchy character. The one with the arms that come out when you punch. If you haven't played it, you won't know. He's a stretchy character with 3 painted stripes on his head that practices yoga, including Yoga Flame. Ganesha, the Hindu god, appears in the background on his stage, and his name comes from dal, which is lentils, and sheem, which is hyacinth beans. That was an awesome.
I've just Googled him, and I have
You've not seen
no
him?
idea who
Wow.
this person is. I don't even recognize him.
Wow.
Nope. So I don't feel bad about not knowing that one.
You don't know. You don't know. There you go. So that's 2 for 3 for Henry.
2 out of 3.
Next up, you may think me a royal, but I'm actually a priest. After losing a kid, turned to drinks made from yeast. Was killed by an Aztec, but left the orphanage well funded, passing on my skills so that God is affronted.
I've no immediate inclinations. So you're not royalty. You're actually a priest, but people think you're royal.
Mm-hmm.
You started drinking beer after your kid died. You were killed by an Aztec, but left the orphanage well funded. So you've got a decent amount of money. Is this obvious? Am I?
It's one of those ones where you know, really.
Not again.
I didn't know this, I'll be honest.
No, I don't know.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to pass that one as well.
This one is King from the Tekken series, a ruthless street brawling orphan who became a priest after collapsing in front of a monastery. When a kid in his care dies, he becomes an alcoholic. After coming third in their first Tekken game and funding an orphanage, he was killed by an Aztec god who his protege went on to fight in Tekken 3. There you go.
Is King the one with like the tiger's head?
Pass.
Yes, I know what he looks like,
Yeah.
but I have no idea
Yeah.
who he is. He's got it's like a cheap cheetah or something.
There you go.
Yep.
So,
I don't feel bad about losing that one either.
2 from 4. Let's move on. As a troubled leader, I bring mental health to the fore, unable to distinguish what I did and I saw. With spikes on my shoulder and hair iconically styled, my first full-length film series, The Advent of Child.
Oh, that's easy. That's Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII.
Is correct.
He says with such confidence.
Yeah, I mean,
I was really concerned.
You nailed that one. Unable to tell the difference between events he witnessed and those he partook in, his outfit has spike on the shoulder and his hairstyle is now iconic. The first full-length film he appeared in was Final Fantasy Advent Children. Congratulations, that's 3 from 5. Next up, I'm a certifiable genius with an IQ of 300 to build my minions helpless animals are plundered. The chaos I seek sparkles shiny. Swing my ball in your face when you first meet me.
Is that what's it? The Sonic the Hedgehog villain, Dr. Eggman / Dr.
Robotnik is correct. Helpless animals are captured to control his robot minions. He seeks Chaos Emeralds, and the first encounter in Sonic 1, he swings a ball at you. Only one of them, though. That's 3 from... that's 4 from 6, right? Let's move on. With guns on my heels, a shapeshifter am I. Can suck on a lollipop to make sure I don't die. If I move at the right moment, it'll slow down time. With a katana and whip, I look just divine.
That's got to be Bayonetta. She's the only chick I know with guns on her heels.
Absolutely. Bayonetta. Lollipops can be used to heal, replenish magic, and induce invincibility. Dodging at the right moment gives a slowed down witch time. The katana and whip are unlockable weapons. Well done, Henry. That's 5 from 7. Next up, I get your powers when sucking you in. Can even grow large. In Popstar, I begin. Spent most of my life living in a dream land. A video backed by Zeromancer shows a move not yet banned.
I reckon this is Kirby, the pink marshmallow blob that eats people.
Correct. Kirby from Dreamland on the planet Popstar. He gains the abilities of an opponent he inhales, and he can make himself large, breathing in air like a balloon to float. A video called 1-800 Kirby Side popularized the questionable tactic in Super Smash Bros. And features the track 1-800 Suicide by Zeromancer. Nice. So we've had 8 questions. You've got 6. You're doing well. I scored 8 last week, so to get equal with that, you're going to have to get these next 2 ones right. Next up, I'm Pierre LeBlanc, and with my son Kyle, we go hunting together, being filmed all the while. My father was killed by something few think existed. Takes a setback or 2 before my tactics become twisted.
Right, Pierre LeBlanc and my son Kyle, presumably Kyle LeBlanc, go hunting together, but someone was filming you while you were doing it, or you were filming while you were doing it. My father was killed, so Grandpappy LeBlanc, by something few think existed. So that's like an urban legend type thing.
You will kick yourself.
Takes a setback or two before my tactics become twisted. So don't tell me what it is, but is Pierre LeBlanc describing the answer? If that makes sense, because it says I'm Pierre LeBlanc.
No, that is his actual name. That's his actual name. What you know his name as is a nickname.
Okay, I think I have it. I'm gonna go for a guess. I think I know what it is. Is it Slenderman?
You're gonna kick yourself. It's Scaly Pete from Maneater.
Fucking shit.
Pierre Scaly Pete LeBlanc and his son Kyle are filmed by a TV show as they hunt a bull shark. After some spoilerific setbacks and plot developments involving the dad, granddad, the methods can certainly be called twisted.
Yep.
That was one of them ones that you're really going to kick yourself for not getting.
Yeah. I should have got that. My logic for saying it was Slenderman was I've never played the Slenderman games, but the by something few think existed, and they were like out hunting, so I assumed like a woods, and this mysterious urban legend person killed them. That was my logic, and ultimately it was flawed.
You unlucky. There's one left to go. You can redeem yourself now. And it goes like this. You'll only hear me repeat parts of my name. I'm big for a mouse and have cheeks like a dame. I'm captured and traded to put into cages to fight. A ligand? How'd you say that word? A ligand was named after me, which proves better sight.
This has to be Pikachu, right? From Pokemon?
Correct. Pikachu from Pokemon. A yellow mouse with red cheeks that only says syllables of his own name, unless possessed by Ryan Reynolds, of course. Pokemon are captured, traded, and put into fights. In 2008, Pikachurin, a dystroglycan ligand, was discovered by the Osaka Bioscience Institute Department of Development Biology and is essential for photoreceptor ribbon synapse formation. So congratulations.
I was really worried with that one that he was just going to troll and be like Raichu instead of Pikachu, his evolution.
So congratulations, Henry. That's a score of 7 out of 10. Well done for representing the PGG this week for 7 out of 10. If you managed to do better in the comments, let us know. If you got all of them.
I'm very pleased with how I did.
That's a solid
2. I just didn't know, so I'm fine with taking those hits. Scaly Pete, I feel like an idiot, and I should have got Scaly Pete.
Yeah,
but
it should have been an 8, but we got a 7. But that's a worthy score. And I'd just like to thank again Mr. Metal Shark for missing his calling in life. You should have been a game show host, man. These are awesome, really awesome. So let's move on next to the next question.
The actual question,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got this. Rage Andy Kid, question 1. What is the game that got you into gaming and why? And then there's another question after that, which I'll get into in a sec. What's the game that got you into gaming?
Oh,
I don't know if I could pin it down to one thing.
Oh, no, I mean...
Is that what you can say?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was so long ago now. You're talking over 30 years ago, and I can't even remember the very first... I think the first system I had was a ZX Spectrum, right? I'm pretty sure that was the first one I had. But I don't remember the first game. It was something like... I can't remember... let me have a little Google. I'll come up with something. No, it wasn't. Well, what was your first system anyway? What was your first gaming system?
It was probably the most influential game as like a starting point for me. It was probably Super Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube, which I'm learning came out in 2001, so I would have been around 6. That's probably the first one that I remember playing like over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Everything else kind of came and went.
Yeah.
So I think probably Smash Bros. Melee. I was about around 6 when it came out. My first console that I owned that wasn't like a hand-me-down as someone. So, like, I got a PS1 from my brother because he got a PS2 type thing.
Yeah.
First one that I owned that was all mine was a GameCube. I got a GameCube mainly solely for so I could play Smash Bros. while one of my other brother was playing like other games on his thing, so I could practice and beat him. That's like the sole reason I ended up buying one, with saving up all of my like birthday and Christmas money for a while to get one.
Yeah. My answer has to be like an amalgamation of games, and I'm going to say Manic Miner from the ZX Spectrum, Jet Set Willy, and Chucky Egg. I think those are the three earliest games that I used to play on my ZX Spectrum, and that, and you amalgamate that with like all the games in the arcade at the time, because I used to be a fan of the arcades too. So that's.
I loved arcade games. A House of the Dead was a personal favorite, or any sort of like light gun game.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah.
There you go. That was the first part of the question. What was the other one?
Okay, next up. Also, the new Command & Conquer release on the 5th, and it's one of the good things EA is doing. Do you think they should take the same approach with other games as they did with this remake/remaster, and keep up the good work, you guys? Bring a bit of light each week. Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
It's very difficult sometimes to bring a bit of light because there's so much negativity, but we do our best. Do you think they should take the same approach as they did with their other games? I'm not entirely familiar with exactly what they did with Command & Conquer. Is it because the last thing I heard EA did with Command & Conquer was they did that mobile thing that everyone hated.
Yes.
And then I saw that they were doing Command & Conquer Remastered, and everyone likes it.
Yes.
So I don't quite know where the world stands with them now.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some of the gameplay here, if my internet will load, it just looks like a really faithful remaster. Like, and that's that nostalgia thing. Like, there's so many gamers now who have got a long history in playing games and play games that they used to love. Like, all the games coming out these days are all like maybe shady indie games. You've got to pan through a load of shady indie games to get some real gold, or you've got these like high value AAA games which are just focusing on graphics, like we touched on earlier. Like there's very few games that come along these days that are awesome. So it's these remastered games which give you the authentic original experience that you had when you played the games years and years ago, that are doing really well at the moment. And I think that what they've done here, by the looks of it, if I'm looking at the right video, they've just remastered exactly what people want. They've just made the modern game from the old game essentially, and not done too much to it, and given people that nostalgic trip down memory lane which everyone's pining for apparently. So yeah, they should definitely do that more often rather than try and cash in on the on shitty mobile versions of the IP, which they do so often.
Yeah, I mean, mobile games are the easy way, and then remasters are still, I'm not going to say they're really easy, but they're still easier than making a brand new IP. And EA was good for a while. Like, they did do good stuff, so if they can just dig into that back catalogue and get a few wins under their belt, then maybe they can go forward and actually do something good with a new IP in the future.
Focus on the games and not on the money, and that'll be good.
Yeah, just make a good game.
Focus on the games and the consumers, and giving the consumers a valuable, legitimate experience without trying to nickel and dime them. And that's all people do. It's that simple. It is that simple. Anyway, thanks for the question, Mr. Rage and Andy Kidd. Moving on, Earthworm Ben. So 2 questions in one. What game that is not in the limelight are you both looking forward to this year? That is easy for me. That is the sequel to Golf Story, which is, I think, Sports Story. I think it's called. That was my very first RPG game I played on the Switch, and I really, really loved it. So I think it's Sports Story, made by an Australian development studio, and the comedy and the sense of humor shines through in that game, in the original game, and I'm really looking forward to that one. Sports Story, sorry.
So there's a couple. I wouldn't necessarily say they're not getting the limelight, because this one in particular is getting a reasonable amount of spotlight, but only on an indie level. Is Carrion. But I don't think it's coming out on any consoles straight away. I think they're going to come out afterwards. So it's going to PC first. So I don't know if I'll end up playing it this year. But they describe it as a reverse horror movie type, or reverse horror game. and you play as this like sort of sludge tentacle monster thing, basically like the monster from The Thing.
Yes.
And you eat people, and you get bigger and stronger. And I loved that about Maneater this year, and I'm really up for playing Carrion. It's really violent.
Yes.
It's got this, but still got a really simple is perhaps the wrong word, but like it's pixel art. It's only pixel art, but they've still managed to make it look really good and highly detailed, and I think that looks great. A couple others.
Just on that before you move on, I actually played the demo for Carrion. And I haven't mentioned it. It was really good. It was really good. It's what you expect. You got abilities and you upgrade, and there's from what I remember anyway, there's environmental puzzles where you've got to unlock doors, and then you get to sneak past certain enemies who can really do you damage. But every enemy that you eat, you grow a little bit bigger, and so there's. Although it's a very simple looking game and you only control and you've got space as a action, there are there's a lot to it. Yeah, it definitely is one to look out for. I think the demo's on Steam now.
Yeah, Carrion looks great. Yeah, it was part of a thing a few weeks ago where they launched a bunch of free demos for Gap.
Yeah.
I can't remember really what. I'm pretty sure we covered it.
Absolutely.
A couple others. I don't know if they're coming out this year. Atomic Heart. I think we talked about a while ago on Discord. It just looks super weird, sort of Bioshocky, like dystopian, very Soviet, and because I think it's made by a Ukrainian or Russian team.
Yes.
I can't quite remember which one.
I think it's made in Moscow.
Yeah, and then there's one which has been all quiet for a long time, which is Biomutant, which who knows if it's ever going to actually come out. But what I really like about it is, for starters, the gameplay looks very hack and slashy, kind of like Devil May Cry, but also with a lot of shooter elements, because I think you can have guns as well. And it's a weird post-apocalypse, but you create your character who's like a little raccoon fox type thing. But when you put in your stats, because it's an RPG, if you go for higher intelligence, his brain gets physically bigger, and therefore his head gets bigger. Then if you go for strength, he gets bigger shoulders. And I like the idea that all of your stats choices are reflected in your character, and then you can change his colors and make him like really horrible and green, or a more muted normal ginger fox. I think that's really cool, and it looks really fun to play, so I've got my eye on that.
Yeah,
but nothing's been said about it for a while.
That's true.
I think they came out sometime this year and said, we're
still live,
it's still happening.
Yeah,
but there's nothing going on. Hopefully it will come out during this one of these replacement E3 events. Like IGN's currently got one going on. I think like GameSpot are doing one. There's loads of different stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully it still exists
yeah.
and does make it out this year.
The other part of the question is, what game are you looking forward to that isn't a genre you would normally play, and why? And Earthman Ben says, both can be the same if you like. I'm waiting so heavily for the next installment, that is Bayonetta 3. I don't have an answer to this question, so if you'd like to enlighten me as to what game I should be looking forward to in the comments, let me know, because I will be reading. Do you have a great answer?
My one, I mean, technically it's already out, and I've already talked about it, but it's not out on a system I can play on, is Gears Tactics. I don't really do turn-based games, really, but I really enjoyed XCOM 2, and Gears Tactics is XCOM with a Gears skin, but done well, so according to all the reviews and everything. So I'm really up for that. But I don't think there's anything major. Well, maybe Carrion, because it's sort of like a
proper indie game, yeah.
Kind of, I don't even know what genre you'd call it. Just
pixel art indie.
It's just violent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I play a few indie games, but not many. So Carrion's quite a good one for that.
Cool. Thanks for your questions, Mr. Earthworm Ben. Next up, is it me to read or you?
Where are we? No, I think it's me on this one. I'll just take it anyway. This is from Robbo85. Great pod today, as always. Presumably this came as a result of last week's one. You don't know if this one's good yet. I mean,
yeah.
We're not done yet. Evidently, you managed to listen through the horrendous audio that Gaz was
me?
Putting out somehow through his thing. You thought we'd get through the whole podcast without bringing it up? Yeah. It'll probably come up in the comments later.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
We'll,
you know it well.
Put a pin in that. Just love the honesty you guys exhibit. That's why I subbed. Thank you very much. That's one thing we try to do all the time. Anyways, I'd like to pose a question for next week's pod. Given the release of The Last of Us 2, with its mature story and violent graphical content, is using the word game to describe such work, now trivializing the art? Are we at a point where interactive media better describes what the medium is in today's age? Keep up the great work, Dave, Robbo. Kiss, kiss. Well, thanks for the question.
We almost made through a whole podcast without mentioning Last of Us Part 2. We got all the way to the comments. But
it's impossible because they keep doing stuff.
Well, it is next week.
Get in the news.
But yeah, absolutely. Interactive media is a better descriptor. Absolutely. Would it work as good as game? Probably not. A lot of people know what a game is, right? And
I think trivializing is sort of right and sort of wrong because you don't want to. Fun in terms of genre, Fortnite and The Last of Us have a lot in common. They're both third-person shooting games, and they both have the same sort of over-the-shoulder perspective. So on the bare minimum level like that, they're the same, but they're both completely different in their approach, in terms of story and what they want the player to like feel. Because like Fortnite, it wants you to feel fun. And Neil Druckmann has quite controversially said, we don't use the word fun. And it sounds really pretentious when he says it like that.
Mm-hmm.
We want it to be an experience or whatever. I'm like, right, I get what you're trying to say, but you sound like a wanker when you say it. But yeah, like, I'm really up for a game that is willing to not just like entertain.
Yeah.
A good example of it is in movie terms is a film like Schindler's List or The Boy in Striped Pajamas. Any of those war films that focus specifically on the nasty side of the Holocaust and stuff. Well, the nasty side. The whole thing's the fucking nasty side.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Like the much darker stuff, because it's not something you watch and necessarily enjoy. You know, it doesn't make you happy.
Yeah.
But it's a really good story that engages, so long as it engages a feeling, whether that's fun, happy, good, joy, any of those good ones, or if it makes me sad, or it makes me want to cry, or it makes me depressed or something. As long as I get a feeling out of it, then I think it's good.
I think in terms of interactive media, to describe it, it's good, but then you cloud that space with things like Black Mirror Bandersnatch. Is that a game? It's definitely interactive media, but is that a game? Is it? I mean, you could compare it to a lot of games. There are a lot of elements in there that game are literally what some games just do, and that's it. Or is it a TV show? That's another thing. So, you know, it is a grey area these days, and I think that these genres crossing over is great. It's absolutely great, because there are certain things in like TV and film that are attractive, and there are certain things in gaming that are attractive, and the more that these lines blur and these stereotypes are done away with, that you can just really explore this new kind of middle ground of the medium, which I think is fantastic.
I can't wait for the reviews to come out. Well, they come out tomorrow at the time of recording. And to see everyone be like, it's more than a game, it's an experience.
Yeah, you know it's coming.
And I'm pretty sure I've been guilty of that sort of bullshit in the past, but it sounds ridiculous.
All right, what we're expecting,
when
right?
The Spider-Man game.
What we're expecting from the reviews, right? I'm expecting a missed opportunity to be mentioned. I'm expecting brings nothing new to the table to be mentioned, because that everyone says that.
But still get nines. Still get nines.
Yeah. Those are my expectations. Or they're pushing an agenda. That's got to be mentioned somewhere. Someone's got like Survivor, whoever he is. He just jumps on everything that I'm sure he mentioned.
It won't. The agenda stuff won't be mentioned in the critics' reviews, because a lot of those critics are not. This is a very big generalization, but a lot of them tend to lean towards that sort of stuff anyway. So they're not going to say it's pandering to the SJWs, because they're already on the SJW side.
That's true. That's why I mentioned Survivor, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
Yeah, he won't give a shit. But yeah, I expect it to review very well critically. The user scores may tell a different story, as they often do. It's just going to be full of 10s, people praising it as a masterpiece, full of 0s, people slamming it for SJW stuff. It's It's an odd one.
Yeah.
And I look forward to covering it tomorrow, which you will have already seen. But it's going to be a fun can of worms to open.
It's going to be awesome. There's also the PlayStation event happening tonight, this evening too.
Yep.
So that's, there's a lot of PlayStation things coming out soon. Hopefully we know a lot more about what the PlayStation 5 will look like and be priced at this point. But anyway, we do have to move on quickly because we're approaching the hour and a half mark, and we've still got 3 questions left to go. We'll have to dump Metal Shock's extra question because we're running out, and then we've got to do more stuff now. So I'll stop talking. Let's get on to who's reading this one? Me.
I think you're up.
Okay. MHVG1994 says, back like a bad penny. One question and one friendly competition for you this week. Question: What is one of your unpopular gaming opinions? For example, mine would be that I think the first Half-Life game is legitimately a chore to play through, and I found no redeeming features in it at all. Least of all, the story. I love it. Right, trigger warning for people right now. We might say something that pisses you off about your favourite game right now, but we don't care because we've been asked what our unpopular gaming opinions are. So, Henry, hit me. What is your unpopular gaming opinion?
Well, the thing is, I think you're just going to agree with mine, but the best one I can think of, and it's one that I've been thinking about recently because it's sort of been in the news, is Bloodborne is a shit game. Loads of people love it as like the fucking top PS4 exclusive. It's crazy that From Software only have it as an exclusive. All you PC players, you're missing out. We want it so much. There's rumors it's going to be on PC. It's shit. I played it, and it's not because I didn't get good, because I did complete it. And if you want proof, I'll dig into my my trophy list on my PlayStation to find that I did it. It's not. A lot of people like the hard genre, fine, but I just think it's shit. It's not hard because it encourages you to think differently about your opponents. You just dodge, and then hit them. And then you dodge again. Maybe you shoot them and you get the timing right. That I'll give you that. That's satisfying. I can't remember what they call it. It's like a extreme attack or visceral attack, I think it's called. And then you do like a big stab. But it's not like you have to do adaptive strategies or try different moves. You're doing the same moves against guys that just hit a bit harder and take a few more hits as the game goes on. I like a game for a good story. There's piss all in fucking Bloodborne. There's all this in you can read about it in the wiki. If I have to fucking engage with supplementary material for any game or film or art form or whatever, then it's bad. Yeah. That's bad storytelling. The story may be good, but the storytelling is bad, and it's no.
Okay, I totally agree with you in principle on that. I've never played the game, so I can't agree wholeheartedly. But I can agree with Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a bad game. I don't like Dark Souls or Souls-esque games.
I automatically don't like
Souls.
Dark Souls because of my own bias.
Get out of it.
I've not played it. I'm never going to play it. I'm just
okay.
I'm biased.
My unpopular game opinion that I'm going to put forth today is that, brace yourselves, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a hugely overrated game, and I think it's so frustrating, and there's fundamental game design flaws in it that inhibit my enjoyment of the game. It's so overrated. Also, while we're on that note, what was the new Mario game? Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey is a game for children. I think that only children, or the mindset, people who play it with the mindset of a child, will enjoy this game. I can't see how any mature adult will enjoy playing that game, because it's a game made for kids, enjoyed by kids. There's no challenging it. It's too easy, and that's what I've got to say. It sounds like I'm going off on Nintendo, but 2 of their flagship games I think are hugely overrated and just made for kids. That's my unpopular opinion, and I stand by it. If you don't agree with me, it is tough. I am entitled to my opinion. Tough.
I still like Breath of the Wild, but it is absolutely overrated.
Yeah.
And Mario Odyssey, I've never been.
Yeah, there we go. I'm not even going to justify it anymore. Let's move on. Thanks for that question. That was a relief to get off my chest, Mr. MHVG. Yeah, that was cathartic, absolutely. So we have another question by MHVG. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, go on. So this one's the competition one, so it's the second part of the thing. We all know about the current health crisis and how YouTube decided that it cannot be named. The question is, who would be better at producing a live video who would be better at producing a live video about the crisis without getting demonetized, or who would be better at reading a fucking sentence without cocking it up? I want you to one another come up with as many names for the virus as possible using only beer and sickness related words starting with the same letters / sounds, so they have to be alliterative.
Yeah.
The rule is you cannot reuse any words, i.e. you could not say Foster's fever and then later include Foster's or fever in another answer. We'll take Foster's fever off the table. We'll take that off the table.
Foster's fever is the first one.
Which is upsetting because that's my favourite one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so what do we get? We can do back and
Shall
forth?
I go first?
Yeah, go on.
Carling cough.
Peyronie plague.
Amstel ailment.
Carlsberg cancer.
Magna's malignment.
Stellar sickness.
Ugh. The San Miguel spewage.
The Heineken horror. I've got parts of them, but none that go together.
Yeah. The John Smith's jaundice.
Have you got a list of beers up?
This is purely off the top of my head.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Tuborg tetanus.
Wow, this is going to take forever.
I'm scraping the barrel for bad beers now.
The Worthington's Willies. Does that count? Got the Willies. You've got the Willies, right?
Right. Okay. Oh, what about the Guinness gout?
That's good. I like that. Bastard.
I don't imagine this is the most compelling thing to listen to.
No, it's probably not.
It's really difficult.
You might have got me there. You might have got me. The skull. You got me. Let's call it that.
Oh,
I can't think of like anything else other than and at the relief of the listeners too, Henry wins this round. But I liked that game. I did like that game. We how many did we pull out then? Maybe 10. We did well.
That was rough.
Pat ourselves on the back. It was rough to listen to, probably too. Let's move on.
Okay, I think it's me for this one.
You read.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, there's a bonus bit
Yeah.
for Humvg 1994. As an aside, I genuinely consider changing my name on Discord to make naming me easier for you, but I actually find the way you try pronouncing Humvg so entertaining that I changed my mind. Yeah, I mean, Humvg. Don't let anyone tell you your name is stupid.
Yeah.
Your name, you were given this by yourself.
There you go.
You should keep it. You should take pride. 1994.
Absolutely. Thanks for your questions, dude. Let's move on to the very last question this week. This is by Tons. So here's a question. Are you guys still feeling The Last of Us Part 2? With all the drama surrounding it and the weird year we're having, I mean, it's just occurred to me that it's coming out next week and I couldn't be bothered, if I'm honest. That's a good question.
I think a lot of people are in the same position, to be honest. I think a lot of people they don't care about the leaks, they don't care about the drama, but they're just so disenchanted with the negative conversation that you feel like you can't even enjoy it anymore.
It's true.
I definitely felt like that for a while, and I've tried to get myself like sort of re-excited by it, because I got really fed up with all the negativity and it's just constant toxicity from everyone on garbage sites like Twitter. But then I've just been like, well, no, I really like the world. I like the first one, and I don't care if it's bad. Like, if it's bad, it's bad. I'm willing to take that risk. I'm willing to see if it is SJW pandering or this, that, and the other, because I'm like, well, what's the worst that happens? I don't like it, and I'm I'm down like 50 quid or whatever, but it's a risk I'm willing to take at this moment.
Yeah, it is you see it as a risk, but it's a risk that they've earned by making such an awesome first game in my eyes. And I think that I never get put off by other people's opinions. I'm such a stubborn motherfucker that I love The Last of Us Part 1. I don't give a shit about agendas. I honestly don't. I know it's there in TV shows with a diversifying cast, and there's in Netflix shows, there's always a lesbian kiss, and there's always this and that. There's always, so what? It doesn't trigger me. Like, I get triggered by things, but I don't get triggered by that. And it's like, who gives a shit? Well, it's an agenda. Only if you're against that agenda would you have a problem with the agenda. Like, why is there a problem to you unless you have the opposite agenda? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think that there's gays in it. There's men shagging men. Whatever, man. There's zombies shagging zombies. I don't care. I'm going to enjoy that game, and it's not put me off one bit. Honestly, I mean, I'm entitled to my opinion. You might disagree with me. You might think, they're going to take over the world. Tinfoil hats, bullshit. I don't care, man. Just let me play my games. Let me play and leave me in peace. That's my opinion.
The agenda I support is that the creators can be allowed to create the game they want to create, and if it's shit, we get to tell them so. But we don't know it's shit yet.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
There you go. Thanks tons.
Might be.
Thanks tons. And with that, let's move on to our final... Oh, it's not our final segment. It is the next segment, which is the Triggered Fanboy Comment of the Week. Good this week is a poster. I think it was on last week's podcast. It was, and it was caught by the filter for bad words or blocked words. It says on here. So I'm going to read this out now. It wasn't actually posted on the comments itself, but this was Extreme Posty 0. He commented. He's been a subscriber a couple of years, so a bit of respect to this dude. Number 1, bullet points. If you disregard Steam features because you don't personally value them, then you are a dickhead. People have different preferences and they should be respected. Okay, point 1, okay, in its context there, I may be a dickhead. I totally accept that, okay? I'm a dickhead many times during each day. I say things that are dickheady, that are shit. I make mistakes, whatever. I'm not a dickhead for disregarding Steam features, however, because I have a personal preference. I'm entitled to that. I'm not disrespecting people. People have different preferences, and they should be respected. I'm not disrespecting people because I say that I don't appreciate Steam features. That isn't disrespect, dude. I don't know where you get that from. People have different preferences, and they should be respected. Why? Why should I? Why do they deserve respect? But just because they have a different opinion, I said that wrong. But they don't automatically be. I'm not disrespectful because I have a different opinion to you, okay? And because I don't think Steam features appeal that much to me. That's not disrespectful to you. Okay, that was just point 1. Point number 2, games on consoles that you get with a paid subscription aren't free. I absolutely agree with you, and sometimes we do say that you get it free with this subscription, or you get it free on PlayStation Now. That's a mistake on our part. I totally agree with you on that one.
It's just a slip of the tongue. Yeah, they're not. It's the same with we shit on it all the time. Like paying for multiplayer in PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. It's bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit.
And point 3,
it's the same thing that you think you're getting it for free, but you're not.
And point 3, to the people that are still reeing about Epic Store, go play something else. If you don't have games to play to wait for exclusivity period to finish, then what the fuck are you doing? Otherwise, good podcast as usual. Don't listen to it frequently, but it's good when I do. Edit, more niche indie games aren't necessarily unpopular or non-profitable. For example, there are Rust YouTubers with more subs than this channel. I mean, this was kind of scraping the barrel in terms of Triggered Fanboy because we didn't have one, let's be honest. But he did say that if you think this, then you're a dickhead. And he did say we were being disrespectful just because I didn't appreciate other people enjoy features on Steam. That's the only reason you got a couple of good points there. People still obviously he likes Epic and he likes Steam by the sound of this. It's he's not a partisan.
I can't say I saw this coming.
Yeah.
Like the way it starts, and then the way it ends. There's a whole little narrative going on here.
I bet we appreciate all the comments, and unfortunately that did get blocked by by the filters. I don't know why. I don't know what.
Must be because he's swearing.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it says, dickheads may have been caught. Yeah,
dickhead probably. Yeah, I'll have to look at the filters and turn them off because it's a perfectly fine comment. Rust YouTubers much. Yeah, I mean, niche indie games aren't necessarily unpopular or non-profitable. I get that. However, Rust YouTubers are just that. They are Rust YouTubers. They are channels that feature specifically one game, and then the viewers watch those channels for that game, and that is it. There are Minecraft YouTubers. We are a very diverse YouTube gaming news channel. Yeah. So people come to us because we cover a lot of different things. We sometimes do cover the niche indie games, which we have done in today's podcast to prove that our comments are last week wrong. However, just doing niche indie games would quickly compress our views right down even further than they are at the moment, which is not what we need right now. Let's be honest. So yeah, Rust YouTubers with more subs on this channel, that's because people who watch them only watch Rust on their channel, and it works really well in the algorithm. A YouTube channel, a bit of a back end story on the YouTube, how YouTube works here. A YouTube channel that focuses on this, churning out the same content day in day out, gets favored by the algorithm, because if you watch 4 or 5 videos in the same YouTuber one after another, and then you get another video served in the same genre, you're more likely to click it than if you're a channel to cover loads of different topics. You watch maybe 2 or 3, and then one pops up that you're not really interested in. If you leave that out, then again, your favor of the algorithm goes right down, because people sometimes just don't appreciate some of the random topics that you come up with. So that's just an indication of how YouTube works, more than Rust being better than Rust YouTubers being better than our YouTube channel. That's just how it works on YouTube. Anyway, that is the triggered fanboy comment of the week, although it wasn't that triggered. He just called us dickheads for believing something. Either way, let's move on to other comments this week. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, have you got? I'll lead with this one because it's a thread of comments, and I think it's going to be a fun little conversation. This is on last week's podcast, where somehow, we don't know, that somehow a audio blunder seemed to have occurred, and everyone and their mother came in to tell us why.
That didn't happen. You're lying.
And I thought it was hilarious because it wasn't my fault. Nothing on my end. It may not even necessarily have been your fault, but it was on your end of the system. So the one I've got highlighted is by Magic Squid, saying someone forgot to change his audio input source from his laptop microphone to his expensive standalone mic. And then Gaz comments back, I actually checked the source before hitting record. Not sure what happened. I was stitched up. The world's against me. I've been framed. Yeah. And then it goes on, chap called Hascat. Why didn't Idiot Boy let you know? Was he listening to different audio? Idiot Boy, you can do better than that, Hascat. You're a regular commenter and viewer. You can do better than Idiot Boy. Come along now. Was he listening to different audio? Yes.
Absolutely.
The audio I'm hearing, because we're currently recording locally.
That's why there's 2 mics. You see?
Systems.
1 mic, 2 mics. It's not magic. Not rocket science.
I've got my audio and my video in this camera being recorded, and then through Discord, this mic is being picked up, and it's the same mic being used for my audio recording. So he's hearing the same thing as me, but Gaz is using 2 mics.
Yeah.
Because it works out easier for you.
Yeah, because I'm recording. Because I'm using my PC, I'm recording on my Mac, which is to my side. I've hopefully fixed it this time. The Mac I used to use is right over there. I'm using my laptop, my MacBook Pro now, so it's right here, and I can tell that it's recording properly with any luck. And even if it did go to the wrong source, then there's a decent mic built into the MacBook Pro that sat right next to me, so it won't even be as bad as it would do the last time. I swear I checked it, man. I swear I do it every week. I tap the mic and I see the audio waves, and I see that it was working, and for some reason I was stitched up. I checked it. It's not like I didn't check. I'm a man of procedures.
It'll be mine that's messed up this time.
Let's hope not. I always check it. I don't know what went wrong, and there's just no way of checking it until you listen to it backwards, and then your whole body kind of shrinks into itself because you realize you fucked up a whole podcast. But I appreciate everyone who did stick through. At least they got the comments up on that video, and the comments are like double the previous podcast. And one of those was from Clockwork Man, who said, fitting it sounds like he's in a toilet because he talks a lot of shite, to be honest, lol.
I like that one.
That's fair.
I like that one.
That's fair.
So there's a few more in this thread which I thought I'd quickly highlight. A guy says, "Idiot boy," again, me.
Referring to you.
It sounds like the lamest superhero in the world. It's Idiot Boy, the sidekick of Dickhead Man.
Yeah.
The Idiot Boy was too busy flattening his hat brim, and this chap seems to have been very upset because he's commented more than a few times about my hat. So let's get that out of the way. You can have my hat back, just to annoy you, and I'm going to find another hat.
Flatten that brim, whatever you called
I'm
it.
going to wear as many
Flatten
hats
it, man. Flatten
as
it.
I can fit on my head.
Make sure the flat.
There's another one. So I currently have 3 hats.
Beautiful.
That are within arm's reach. There's a couple more over there that I can't quite get to.
That is going on the thumbnail.
And well, that'll really confuse people because they'll click on the video and be like, "Why
isn't he wearing a hat?
He's not wearing a hat."
Look at that douche with 3 hats.
3 hats here. I feel like if I could
Put the peaks like different ways
to go.
Yeah, beautiful.
Like that.
Yeah.
Then we're pretty on the money.
Give the camera a finger gun for me. Give the camera a finger gun. Dude, that is the thumbnail.
That's it. And then someone else commented back, "Sorry, could you repeat that in an annoying echoey tone, please?" Yeah, quite funny. And then this guy who's commented a million times before, he's got, I don't understand his brain. LMAO or nodding annoyingly. So apparently nodding can be annoying. Signaling to Gaz that I am listening to what he's saying and not interrupting, especially because we're not in person, and there's a little bit of a delay between our mics because it's over the internet. So apparently, me nodding to signify that I am listening to what you're saying is annoying.
Well, fuck those people. What do they know?
I will continue to nod. But maybe not too much, otherwise my triple hat will fall off.
If I'd have known that comment, I would...
And then there's a comment here. Henry, I love the caps. Gareth, loving the grey fox you're growing into. The grey fox look you're growing into. See, this guy likes my hats. And now for you, what's your name? Pascal, behold the 3 hats.
There you go. If I'd have known that previous comment was there, I would have called you your middle name, the Nodder. Henry the Nodder Cooper.
Or the idiot boy nodder.
The nodder from where I come from means a condom. For those of you who aren't familiar, a nodder is colloquial for a condom in my area. That's why I thought that was funny. Anyway, let's move on to something that is actually funny.
That's not one I've heard before.
Is it not? I'm sure I had this conversation with my wife a few years ago where I referred to it as a nodder, and she was like, "What? The nodder?" And like, who knows a condom as a nodder? Let me know down in the comments because I'd like to know if anyone else. I'm sure it might just be the northwest of the country, but let me know. The other comment I've got, the only other one, was from your coverage of the new Harry Potter RPG thing where you went into detail about some of the leaks, right? And Voltaic Fire comments, "Expecto microtransactions."
So I've got one that's on a very, very similar note to that. So this one, it's the same sort of vibe, but this guy's just really angry about it. It was a contender for Triggered Fanboy, but he's not really a fanboy, but he's a little bit triggered, but he's triggered by something that's not even happened yet. So this is S-Clone, a friggin' Harry Potter Skyrim / Dragon Age of all things. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Warner Brothers hasn't got the balls to invest in an ambitious Witcher 3 clone like that, especially with the EA level of fuck-ups they've had with the Harry Potter games, lol. I mean, what Harry Potter games recently have there been other than the movie tie-ins, which I'm pretty sure were made by EA, and the Lego games? I mean, maybe I'm being silly here, but I'm not aware of that many games. The Nemesis system is the only decent thing to come from their dev team in a long while, and they even managed to fuck that up with microtransactions in Shadow of War. Well, no, the Nemesis system was still fine, but the microtransactions did hinder that game, and I'm so glad I got to the game after they'd already fixed all that crap. But if I'm wrong and it turns out this game does exist, then it's going to look so shit. It'll probably be on par with Fallout 76. Ha!
Don't know that.
I feel like I'm not sure I've seen anyone for a good while be this angry about a game that may or may not even exist. This isn't a game that's been announced. It's a potential leak that actually contradicts some other leaks. that came before. So no one knows if any of this is true. It's probably not, but this guy he's real mad about it and paranoid. I think that's the best way. Yeah. You might be right. Warner Brothers does have a track record with fucking up their games with dodgy monetization, and they're always left out of the conversation. It's always EA, Activision, and Ubisoft. But then the next tier is Warner Brothers.
Yes.
But yeah, I just thought that was a fun one. Have you got any more?
I don't have any more. We are running on for 2 hours, and I need the toilet. So, if we have any more, could we make them quick before we move on?
I've got one more. It's just one line. I'll throw it out. It's from a video about Naughty Dog getting in trouble because apparently they plagiarized a song, which now they've recently come out and said they did take inspiration from this girl's song, and they've now credited her, but she's totally fine with it because she's tweeted back saying, "Oh, so proud to work on such a big project and all that, be associated with it, whatever." So that's solved. Yeah. And this person said, and yet people said the Last of Us 2 stuff would blow over in a week. Yep, I was one of those people, and I am wrong. Unfortunately, it hasn't blown over in a week because they keep doing stupid shit from the leaks to the crazy DMCA stuff to disabling likes and comments to this bloody new plagiarism.
I think a lot of the problem, right, and I'm only looking at this as a casual outside observer because we haven't looked at leaks or whatever, is that people are using this for clickbait on YouTube. And I like that. Absolutely. I like Boogie2988. I like a lot of what he said in the past, and I really appreciate him for his route from where he was into where he is now. I think he's going on a fantastic journey, and I do respect the guy hugely. But what I'm about to say might trigger some Boogie fans. I really hate his video on The Last of Us. I think it's just clickbait trash, and I think he didn't add anything to the conversation. Clickbait trash is a bit harsh, but I think this is a prime example of people just using that story in order to get views, and I think it's sad. It's sad to see Boogie lower himself to that. You look at the dislikes on that video. I think a lot of similar people feel the same. People feel a similar type of thing. And I think this is just indicative of how bad YouTube is in terms of clickbait YouTubers trying to ride on negative stories in order to get views. And I think, we've been party to that in the past, but I think hopefully we've learned the error of our ways. And it's like, you don't have to literally make a story. Oh, this is huge outrage. Let's talk about. It's like that isn't the route to a successful YouTube channel. All you're doing is attracting people who hate stuff, negative people who are just going to comment negatively on everything. So I wasn't going to say that, but I said it anyway. I do still respect the guy. I love what he's done on YouTube. I love a lot of. He talks a lot of sense. However, in that video, there was something that was off. He did not hit any of the right notes. Usually, he chimes a lot of chords and he resounds a lot of my own opinions. But that one, I didn't connect with it. I felt like he was clickbaiting it, and he didn't add anything to the conversation. There was no ration. There was no explanation. Anyway, I won't linger on it too long because we've already said we've run on. But there you go. That's just my thoughts. And with that, let's move on to the last segment of this week, which is the bad dad joke of the week. How do you get a baby astronaut to sleep?
I don't know. How do you get a baby astronaut to sleep?
Rocket.
Very good.
There you go.
I was expecting something more like to do with the vacuum of space, or put them outside because then you can't hear them screaming.
Yeah, not that dark. Unfortunately, it was just rocket. A good old pun. And there's the essence of a bad dad joke. So that is it. Thank you for joining us this week, and hopefully we've redeemed ourselves with the audio quality. And that won't ever happen again. So apologies for that from last week. But thanks for sticking with us this long. And if you enjoy our content, please consider supporting us on patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. Also, you can join our channel on YouTube now, because the join button right next to the subscribe button, you can join there and get early access to. So if you want to support us on YouTube, you can do that, because I'm posting the early access to the YouTube followers too, because every single dollar that we get donated really helps. I really appreciate it. So with that, let's move on end this proceedings.
Move on with our day.
Let's move on. Yeah, I need to go to the toilet. Let's say goodbye then. So on behalf of Henry and I, we'll see you again next week for the next podcast. Until then, bye for now.
Bye.